Hello and welcome back to Custom Gamer. This is part 8 of Ambushville. The map we're looking at today is called Third Watch by Carlton. This was my favourite map in the entire competition pack, for a lot of different reasons that we can talk about as we play through it. Funnily enough, the first time I played this map I didn't actually look through the combined binocular thing there in the window, and I actually missed this opening cutscene because it deactivates itself after a while. It's nicely presented, you've got a nice overlay. Justin was explaining on the Planet Phillip podcast how he managed to get the movement of the camera to look so natural like that. It's really well done, it feels nice and smooth. So you kind of get a little sneak peek of a Combine APC approaching your position. And the storyline of this map is kind of that you literally are the third watch. So while your rebel buddies are kind of hanging out or sleeping, resting, you're on watch to make sure they don't get ambushed. And, of course, things could have gone better, by the look of things. I like the fact that you're kind of left to work this out by yourself. You're not kind of told in a very strict manner what the story is. You just kind of piece it together as you're playing through the map, which is really nice to see. And, of course, it helps that the map looks gorgeous. So you've got this really closed-in, kind of foggy valley. Fog is something that you really don't see used that much to this kind of effect in Half-Life, which I think is a shame because it adds a lot very tense atmosphere. This is the kind of thing you tend to see more in like Quake levels, really. This really closed-in fog. Generally, it's just kind of used for distance haze in Half-Life 2, but I really do like the use of it here. It's very cool. One thing I would have really liked to see, perhaps. Probably could have been a bit of a drain on performance, but a kind of smoke volume at kind of head height, or perhaps even ankle height for the player, to get some nice little swirls of fog that you can walk through. It would have just perhaps just finished off the effect, make it look really kind of soupy, and feels like you're actually progressing through it rather than just having it at a distance like this. But anyway, I'm mumbling. So the setup here is really nice. You get all these amazing Combine Hunter kind of sound effects kind of happening all around you. And a random antline, because why not? I have to admit that one got me. I did kind of jump a little bit. Happens a little bit in this map actually. You know you've got the player sucked in when they start really getting invested in your level, when things like that can happen and scare them. It's a sign that you're doing things right, I think. This intro here is just really creepy. I mean, there's so many different maps that do this, like just have hunter sounds in the distance, and I suppose it has become a little bit cliche and expected even. But Justin does a great job here of making it feel fresh and new. Now you do get a couple of glimpses of hunters, like here. Perhaps this one's a little bit suspect because you can just go behind here and oh look, there's nothing here. You get to see behind the curtain a little bit there, kind of breaks immersion a little bit, which is a shame, but for the most part it's really well executed. I like the fact that this area is really big as well. I'm guessing that the fog helped here because you can kind of set the far clip plane fairly close. Do a lot of visibility culling that way, it lets you have a much larger area to play around in. Justin makes great use of that. This area is fairly huge for a Half-Life 2 level. Now we're just about getting to the rebel base, and it's eerily quiet. And there's if you actually explore around, you can actually find some rebel bodies. It becomes fairly obvious that things are not going as well as expected. This area has a great kind of freeform flow to it. All the buildings are enterable. Some of them are kind of scripted to open up during the ambush, but once they're open you can kind of explore them. A lot of them are just straight up openable at the very start, which is great. This is something I really like in Half-Life 2 maps, where you have a free-flowing, I suppose, non-linear. Not sure if that's the best word to describe it, but basically the player can just choose where they want to go, how they want to fight, and where they want to fight, which I think produces some very memorable combat in Half-Life 2. A lot of the Ambushville maps felt very, very constrained. Like, you will fight here and you will you know, survive in the way I think you should. Whereas this map and a few of the others really let you kind of just play the game how you want, and if you mess up, then you're gonna die. So the ambush is triggered. Great use of the, I don't know what you call it, wibbly wobbly screen effect. That's the best I can do right now. But typically you don't really see it used like that, but it works really, really well, I think, for just kind of a quick kind of shock moment there. And it's really, really nice to see the cinematic physics used in a different map. I don't think I've ever seen them reused in a map before, so it's nice to see it make an appearance again. And it fits in so naturally as well. You'd expect something so specialised like that to feel a bit out of place, but it actually works really, really nicely. So you can see you're kind of being attacked from all angles. The pacing of the combat is really, really well done here. This is something I kind of failed at a little bit with Lost at Sea, is that the enemies kind of trickle in one by one after a while, and you can just kind of take them out really easily. This map does things much better, I think. You kind of get waves of combined soldiers rather than just one or two. And of course you've got the Strider just blowing everything to hell as you're walking around, which is really nice to see. I like the fact that even while you're exploring all these buildings, there's like little, just micro puzzles for you to solve, and usually just to open up new routes or to grab an item or something. So here we've got the weight being held in position that you can break free to open the door for you to get out. I couldn't quite remember how to do it at first, so in the end I just decided to use a rocket. I mean, it looks obvious that it should move, but it just wasn't particularly clear to me how it moves, so when in doubt, explosives. That's the motto I live by anyway. Can't speak for everyone, but seems to be working quite well so far. So now we can go Strider hunting. Now the Strider AI for the most part feels pretty good in this map. There are a couple of instances of it just kind of walking around, and almost felt like I was being ignored a couple of times. It's hard for me to say whether that's a fault of just some dodgy AI or if the pathing could have been better, but I've never actually used Striders in a map before, so I can't really say with any certainty. I like the detailing in all these buildings as well. They feel really, really nice, especially all the wooden beams up in the ceiling and everything just creates a really, really nice look. The fog helps here as well, helps bring out all the detail. Something I think really isn't used enough, even with the distance fog in Half-Life 2, is that it really does help bring out details of things like beams and various different geometric details in the map. Strider's spotted me again now. Notice there's a car in that barn. We're going to need that to escape. Not quite yet. I mean, you can complete the map without killing the Strider, which is something I really, really like. It's something I kind of messed up in Lost at Sea as well. You have to kill the gunship in Lost at Sea in order to open the exit door. I wonder if some players kind of just tried to outsmart the gunship and escape, but obviously they couldn't, so... I do like the freedom here to just kind of progress how you choose. This guy can certainly move when he wants to. And we finally take him out. The wreckage here from the cinematic physics looks great. Still supplies here that I haven't used. More over here. One thing I did wonder is whether people noticed the combined force field blocking the exit here. I guess it's kind of obvious once you notice the car, you're kind of looking for exits to the map, and you kind of see this thing over here. That makes sense, I suppose. Now we just have to open it. This felt a little bit strange. You never really see doors like this. It looks like a custom brush door plate. And throwing the grenade in here to explode the console doesn't feel quite right. I don't think there's enough visual language to really describe that well enough. I guess players do kind of end up putting one and one together when they see the gap to put something through there. I think maybe some sparks on the panel or something could have helped, just something to show that it's damaged and can be broken. Alright, well that was my highlight of Ambushville. And we'll come back with the 9th map pretty soon, I hope. We'll see you next time.